Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chubb for this edition of Nate at 8. And coming up for this edition of Nate at 8, we're going to be tracking a cold and frosty Thursday morning before it does end up warmer with plenty of sunshine for the afternoon hours. Really a nice day tomorrow. And on top of that, a light wind. So thankfully, a day where we're not getting blown around by that wind, as those wind speeds only about 5 miles per hour going through the day tomorrow. So thankfully, we finally get a break from those winds. And it's a brief break because by the time we get into Friday, those winds pick back up. And I think Friday, those winds can be similar to what we had for today. Not yesterday. It's not going to be as windy as yesterday, but more so for what we had today. Wind gusts still in excess of 20, maybe up to about 30 miles per hour. Similar to what we had today, I think, is what we can see set up for the day Friday. Now, the warming trend continues Friday, and we're going to touch on that in a minute. That temperatures, we climb into the 60s Thursday, and we're likely well in the 70s by the time we get into Friday. So without further ado, let's jump into things. Again, thanks so much for joining me for this edition of Nate at 8. Starting off with tomorrow morning, that's what we're going to start off with. And our current temperatures right now are dropping off from the 50s back to the 40s, and temperatures will again drop off quite a bit tonight. That's thanks to a couple of things. Number one, the fact that we have very little cloud cover in place. And number two, those winds are calming. So while this is a good recipe to see temperatures drop off tomorrow morning, it's also meaning that it's not going to feel any colder than it already is, right? Wind chill's not a factor with a calm wind tomorrow morning, but we will likely wake up to some cold, frosty conditions. Temperatures around 30 degrees, a lot of frost likely present across the area tomorrow morning, as temperatures will likely fall at or below freezing in the area across the region for tomorrow morning. And again, it's a cold start, but from there, temperatures pick up by Thursday afternoon, and that just starts a warm up from that point going into the weekend. You notice these low temperatures are not nearly as cold after tomorrow morning. So if you don't like the cold, just get through one cold morning, because by even Friday morning, temperatures are over 15 degrees warmer at that point. It'll be mid-upper 40s, more chilly than cold by Friday morning, and even mild by Saturday morning. Low temperature is going to be more on par with the normal high this time of the year by Saturday, and even for Easter on Sunday, low temperature falling around 50. So get through one more cold morning, and those mornings not nearly as cold, even as we do extend through the weekend. And that being said, with those conditions tomorrow, with good amount of sunshine, light wind, temperatures in the 60s. This is some great weather for some high school baseball. And we do have a high school Grand Slam baseball game that is being broadcast live at 5 o'clock. You can watch this tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock on Fox 9. Watch Indian Creek take on Harrison Central. And again, those game time temperatures will likely be in the lower 60s during that time into tomorrow evening. Light wind, lower 60s, good amount of sunshine, really some almost picture perfect conditions for baseball. And again, you watch this game live on Fox 9 at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. Indian Creek taking on Harrison Central for high school Grand Slam baseball broadcasts. That again, as we do extend into tomorrow afternoon, it's looking nice, but we got to get through a cold morning tomorrow morning. And again, the wind chill is not a factor. Winds will be light, low falling closer to 30. And then notice those temperatures are picking up into the mid to lower 60s tomorrow afternoon, as we see plenty of sunshine. Going to be gorgeous tomorrow. It's really not until we get closer to and after the sun sets that we notice more clouds spilling into the area, and we'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies. Then going into Friday morning, we're dealing with more cloud cover to start off the day Friday, but likely not much, if any, precipitation. Only a slight chance in most that we're seeing a shower for your Friday. And while we do start off with cloud cover in the morning, we'll be watching. I think we can start to mix with more sunshine Friday afternoon. Again, we have a breeze at this point, wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. It's warm and breezy for Friday. Highs closer to 80 degrees, record high 85. So we're going to come up short of records, but still unseasonably warm. And we could very well end within a handful of degrees of that record high Friday afternoon. Temperatures were close. I wouldn't be shocked if we did manage to hit 80. And we have not hit 80 yet so far for this month. The last time that we had gone this far to the month without having at least one 80-degree day in April, going through the 16th, the last time was 2020. So, this is it's not incredibly rare, but it's not typical that we've gone this far into April without an 80-degree reading at the Ohio County Airport, and we could get it by Friday. And 2020 was also the last year we never even hit 80 in the month of April. And typically we at least have one 80-degree day. So it's atypical to deal with at least not one 80-degree day in the month of April. We haven't had it yet so far, over halfway through at this point in the month. And we could sneak it in Friday. So that may very well be our first 80-plus day here into the Ohio Valley by Friday. Just something interesting to note with the temperatures going into the end of our work week. Friday night, more clouds spill into the area, and this time around, with the cloud cover, does come the rain, and we're going to be watching for showers moving in late Friday night into Saturday morning. And these showers, it's not a washout Saturday, but these showers are occasional. There's some breaks, but it's just one round after the other with this rain on Saturday. And overall, it's going to be just a wet start to the weekend. We can spot some thunderstorms in the mix on Saturday. The severe risk looks low, but some thunderstorms are possible Saturday. Temperatures still likely in the 70s, but it'll be more lower 70s, not topping off near 80. So a little bit cooler Saturday, but this isn't a real chilly rain that we're going to have in place Saturday with that occasional shower to get maybe a thunderstorm in the mix. And temperatures still topping off in the mid to lower 70s. Again, that's coming off of low Saturday morning. They're even the lower 60s. So it's a mild start and into the day on Saturday. And the good news is by Easter on Sunday is that the rain threat's going to start to lower. So we're dealing with a lot of showers for the start of the weekend Saturday. By Saturday night, the showers likely start to decrease in coverage. And by Easter on Sunday, that still can't rule out a shower. I mean, it's possible we may have to dodge a round of rain or two. If you're planning on any, Easter egg hunts outdoors, yes, it's still possible. You may have to dodge a round of rain or two, but thankfully, the rain threat does look to at least momentarily lower on Sunday for Easter, because by even later Sunday night into Monday, those showers will return. So it's really right between 2 days with dealing with more showers that hopefully we can sneak in some at least mostly dry conditions for Easter on Sunday, to the point where still plenty of dry times to be had, but still I just think we can't rule out at least a shower or two around on Sunday. But it doesn't look as wet Sunday as what we're going to see on Saturday. And then, like I mentioned, notice by Monday those showers didn't return. The chances ramped right back up, and we're likely dealing with more showers early next week. Our temperature's a little bit cooler Sunday, but really just on par with what's typical this time of the year. It's more seasonable day on Sunday after still trending above normal for Saturday. And then by Monday, we're back closer towards 70 degrees. And then we'll see that rain threat likely lower to the middle of next week. Temperatures, really not hovering too far from what's typical this time of the year. It's more seasonable to above normal temperatures and likely into that stretch next week. So it does not look like we're having any chilly or even cool days looking ahead next week. So that's our start of that. We've been talking about this for a while now, likely that warmer period where temperatures are more seasonable, if not above normal, where we get that stretch without any of those real cool days. And it does look like we can see that pan out into that week following Easter Sunday. Shelly saying, do you think the severe threat weather on Saturday will be anything like the last Monday in West Virginia, or not as bad? Should be as bad, Shelly. No. Shelly joining us this evening with that question of the severe threat on Saturday. We're dealing with enough cloud cover and rain going throughout the day that the severe risk should stay low. Just not typically dealing with much severe threat when we are dealing with those showers occasionally, even starting in the morning and then going through the afternoon, and a lot of cloud cover. Still could see some thunderstorms, yes, but I think the severe risk is going to be low for us on Saturday. Thankfully, due to the fact we're dealing with some showers even in the morning, and we're dealing with a lot of cloud cover throughout the day as well. So both of those combine to help keep the severe risk low as we do start off the weekend on Saturday. And again, thankfully for Easter on Sunday, that the rain chance does look to lower, where it still can't rule out some showers, but not as wet from what we're going to see on Saturday. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. I hope you had a wonderful a wonderful, wonderful day. And hopefully you've got some good plans coming up here for this weekend. I know Saturday is unfortunate. Christopher saying, when does the rain on Saturday arrive? It's in the morning. So, even likely shortly after daybreak, we'll see those showers move in, Christopher, on Saturday. So it's with us for likely most of the day. I think we'll be watching right around daybreak, if not shortly after, that we're already seeing some showers in the area. And then it's just periodic, right? It's just as occasional, just on and off going through the entirety of Saturday, likely is when we're going to be dealing with that rain as we do extend through Saturday. It's going to rain on Easter. So like we mentioned, by the time we get into Easter on Sunday, that yes, that shower is still possible, but thankfully not as wet as what we're going to see Saturday. So, you're dodging a lot, you're dodging a handful of times where, it's just one round after the other on Saturday. So you go from dealing with, one round after the other to maybe a round or two, if they put it kind of in a different way of just describing that rain threat from Saturday into Sunday. So you may have to see a round of rain or two on Sunday. Meanwhile, Saturday, you've got several rounds, right? It's really just almost one after the other. So thankfully, looking drier for Easter on Sunday. So yeah, it does look like it's panning out. Really, we're getting a good forecast Sunday, getting Easter in right between 2 days. We're likely dealing with more rain on Saturday as well as Monday. Has it ever snowed on Easter? I'm sure it has, Christopher. I'm not sure exactly how much the record is. I'd have to look and see what our record is for the most snow on Easter. For Sunday, I don't know that off the top of my head, but I'm sure it has. And I'm sure we'll dive into, once we get closer towards Easter, we can dive into some of the statistics on the extremes, the hottest, coldest, snowiest, rainiest. We'll bring all that coming up closer to Easter. Unfortunately, I don't know that off the top of my head about what the most is, but I'm sure we've had some snow on Easter before. Donna says, thank you. I appreciate it. As always, Shelly, thanks for the update. You are very welcome. Thank you both for tuning in as well. I appreciate it, as always, for tuning in for this edition of Nate at 8. Can you send that to me after you find that? If I could know how to message on YouTube, Christopher's joining us on YouTube. If I don't know if you have Facebook, Christopher, but if you can reach out to me on Facebook, right there, Nathan Chut News 9. I can message you back on Facebook with that information, but I'm not sure if I can access the YouTube to message you back that way. But yeah, if you're on Facebook there, Christopher, if you could just send me a message there, Nathan Chut News 9, that's my page, and I can look that up for you and get back to you that way. Yes, we've had snow on Easter. Donna says, yeah, I know we've had. I'm not quite sure exactly what the most has been that we have in terms of what's on record. Thank you. I'll do that. Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you, Christopher. I'll get back to you on that then. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. As always, I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you had a good weekend coming up. Again, of course, we'll continue to bring you the latest on that rain as we go over the next couple of days, and we'll get a much precise look of the timing of everything here over the next couple of days, and we'll map it out, of course, slower on Futurecast, discuss what times is the best chance to spot any shower that we could have for Sunday, and we'll start to iron out those finer details here over the next couple of days leading up going into the weekend. And of course, you can catch me for the latest coming up on News Night at 10 on Fox 9, News Night tonight at 11, and we'll be right back here for that next edition of Nate at 8 to bring you the latest coming up for tomorrow evening. So make sure to stay tuned around 8 o'clock tomorrow evening for that next edition of Nate at 8, and I'll bring you the latest at that point as well. All right, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful night.